Hello gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Solo Spelunking. And again, I'm continuing my Star Wars campaign, Season 4 Adventures in the Keldor sector, even though we're not in the Keldor sector anymore. So our characters, Nash Duncan, human scoundrel, smuggler and flyer for hire, and his Eldridian love interest crew member, Rhya, mysterious Eldridian Shadowhuntress from the Council of Elders. And this is her, and this is Nash. We are on board the Never Too Late, which is pretty souped up right now, and we just escaped, or we basically managed to scare away Rhya Vess, Mandalorian bounty huntress and recurring nemesis in this campaign. And yeah, so actually we wanted to lay low on Nar Shaddaa, but that's not possible now because Rhya Vess has located us. We are still wanted by the Empire, definitely Nash is, and yeah, so that's where we're at. So what we did is we launched into space and we just set a course, maximum sublight speed, towards the edge of the system, the Nalhada system, away from all the space traffic, just heading through space because we are also wounded and we do not have med packs, only basic first aid and medical supplies on board the ship. And this is where we will pick up this episode. So Nash says, well, my suggestion is we keep flying towards this direction at full speed and shut down all unnecessary systems to reduce our power emissions, basically go dark and recuperate for a day or so, and then we can think about a new course of action and where we can head next. And Rhya says, yeah, and we definitely, wherever we go next, we definitely should pick up medpacks. Yeah, I mean, and Nash smiles. That would be stupid, right? 10,000 credits in the pocket, but we die because we didn't have the 200 credits to spare for a medpack. Yeah, that would be stupid and pretty embarrassing. Yeah. Okay, so let's just hope we're so far off the space lanes that we are not harassed by anybody out here. And we determined last time that Rhya Vess did not manage to sneak a tracking device onto our ship. So we should be safe. So I'm cutting this short. I say we do this, basically go dark, just drift at full momentum for 2 days. Obviously, every once in a while, Nash has to check the scopes, either if we're discovered or if we maybe get caught up in some gravity well from a planetary body or something, so that we need to make some course adjustments. And I will just roll 2d6 in regeneration hit die, so it's 1d6 per night. We do 2 nights, so the first night brown is Nash and purple is Rhya. Ooh, Nash is lucky, +6. Rhya is not that lucky, but she also starts with more hit points. So Nash, actually, he was at 12 +6. Now he's at 18 from 20. So he should be all right after the next night. And Rhya is also pretty injured. She's at 14 out of 30. Now she's at 17 out of 30. And after the first night, Nash goes, I feel better already. What about you, Rhya? It still stings a little, but thanks to your basic medical supplies and local anesthetic, what is it? What when you like local painkillers like yourself, you apply. So it's all right. I can manage. Yeah, let's take it slow one more day. Three and 1. So Rhya is at 20 and Nash is at 19 out of 20. So basically almost at full health. Rhya is not, but she will have time to rest also if we are lucky while we are in transit to wherever we need or want to go. Okay, so those are those 2 days, and of course what we do during those 2 days also start training again, so practicing with the target remotes. Rhya does her physical exercises and her battle meditations and whatever it is Eldridian Shadowhuntresses do to stay in shape. So this is how we spend the time. And then because it's I got to re-roll PowerPoints and force uses. So force uses is 1d4 plus 2 for Rhya. All right, so that is 3 force uses. She's still a little bit weak, and 1d2 power points. Oh, that's 2 power points, 4. Okay. And Nash only rolls power points, and he rolls 1d2 plus 1 because of his Scoundrel's Luck ability. Okay, power points, d2 plus 1. And actually, I think I forgot to d2, that is 1, plus 1, that is 2. I think I forgot to use them when I was fighting Rima Vess, actually. Okay, so, yeah, we are basically now all set. And Nash goes, okay, so I think now it is definitely time to check out this new hyperdrive. So where do we want to go? But I suggest we still stay in the Outer Rim. Yeah, let's just feel lucky and pick a random destination from the star chart, from the nearby areas. Okay. So let's see, that's the spirit. Where do we need or want to go? And I am going by my point crawl star chart again. Point crawl star chart travel system. But because we don't want to go too far away, I will roll a d6. So brown is our starting point and purple will be the end point, and then we will randomly determine what kind of planet that is. So brown is starting point from 5, which is here, to 2. All right, so that is 7 plus 6 hours. We will calculate this in a second. All right, so from 5 to 2. So we look at the star charts, and Rhya, she picks out a planet and says, let's try this one. This looks promising. Yeah, why not? Let's check what the data is on this planet. And you know, I'm going to roll if there is actually some sort of astrogation data on this planet. I'm rolling the d6 decider. 4, 5, 6, we do have information. 1, 2, 3, we don't. So 4, 5, 6 is good. Oh yes, it is. So we do have at least some basic information, which means information regarding the type of planet and maybe the security rating. So I'm going to my Solo RPG framework and toolbox for space opera games, to the sandbox sector generation section, and I will determine with a d12 the type of planet that is. Because Rhya picked the planet, I'm using Rhya's d12. And that is an 8. So 8 is... What's 8? Ooh, a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Okay, so of course it doesn't say on the star chart wretched hive of scum and villainy, but something like, I don't know, let's just say it is a wretched hive of scum and villainy, but also a... let's just roll another d12. A 4. A mining colony. Okay, this is interesting. So it is listed as a mining colony, but it's also a wretched hive of scum and villainy that we don't know yet, but we will find out, and that is always low security. And yeah, so let's make a quick note here. 5 to 2, that is a mining colony / wretched hive. It is low security, low sec, and it is called OMREK, O-M-R-A-K, the OMREK system in the outer rim, still within hut space, 5 to 2. Okay, so Nash goes, it's a mining colony, interesting. So maybe let's, for a change, we can do or find some regular work there, you know, just haul some nice little ore, very easy, get paid a set rate by a trustworthy corporation. And Rhya looks at me, tilts her head slightly and goes, you really think they are trustworthy corporations? Well, probably not, but they still gotta pay spacers that they depend on, freelance spacers. I mean, they can't reach every part of the galaxy with their trading convoys now, can they? And Rhya says, I think we will have to see. All right, so let's see what this baby can do now. Let's plot a course. All right, so that is 7 and 6 hours. So that'll be a total of 13 hours times 0.8. So I'm just going by total travel time now, but it should be the same if I calculate each leg individual. So that is 13 hours. Now I need a calculator times 0.8 because that is my multiplier. So let's see. So Nash goes, well, according to these star charts, using this outlined route here, this hyperspace lane, if you have a 0.1 hyperdrive, it would actually take you 13 hours. But since we don't have that, 13 times 0.8, that is 10.4 hours. Okay, so we save a couple of hours, but still it is above 10 hours, so another fraction of 10 hours, which still means 2 random encounters. But the star chart, if you look at the star chart, it's just, there's nothing here. So here we would have ion storms, pirates, patrols, but it's just a normal hyperspace lane. So 10.4 hours, which is enough for Rhya to make one more regeneration roll. But let's see if there's something happening first. So we set the course, and Nash goes, well, according to these calculations, it's 10.4 hours instead of 13, and 13 would be with a times 1. Remember, we had 1.5 before, so that would actually be 13 and 6.5, 19.5 hours. So it is, we are quite fast now. Indeed we are. Let's go. And I pull back the levers, and off we go. And there's this modeled hyperspace tunnel, and the newly upgraded and modified hyperdrive is just running along smoothly with a nice calm rhythm and vibrations that you can barely feel. And the ship is just sailing along. All right, let's see. Random encounters. On a 1, on a d10. And, but thankfully our ship is fully repaired. And yeah, we are 20 hull, so... and we have better guns, so let's see if anything happens. No, 3 and 8. So actually it's an uneventful journey. Rhya is doing one more regeneration roll. I'm not going to re-roll all this stuff again. It's fine the way it is. And Oh, 5 points. That is actually great, because now she is at 25 out of 30, so almost at full health. So she rests a little, and I also let her rest so that she can gather her strength. And then 10.4 hours later, we are alerted to our arrival in the Omrek system. Beep, 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 beep. And Nash goes, all right, we're here, reversing from hyperspeed now. He pulls back the levers and appears in the Omrek system. So let's make a roll to see traffic density on a scale from 1 to 10. Let's see what is going on in space here. 6. All right, so that is a little above average. So it's not the space lanes are not bustling with activity, but there is a reasonable and fitting amount of space traffic for a system that is labeled as a mining colony. So there's some bulk freighters, smaller tramp freighters, and every once in a while a corporate security vessel zips by, probably belonging to one of those mining corporations. And Nash goes, well, just what you would expect from a mining planet, traffic-wise. I don't see anything unusual on the scopes. Yeah, but we determined it's a low security system, so by my framework, there's a 3 in 6 chance, actually, that there is something happening. Let's roll it. Yes, 1. There is something happening. So let's see if I am affected, and I'm affected on a 4 to 6. No, I'm not affected on a 1, so there's something going on between other vessels or objects. Let's see what is going on. So we approach, and the descriptor object is doing something against the descriptor object. A D12 and a D20. That is an intercepting tramp freighter. Okay, maybe is doing 5, destroying 15. An asteroid field. Okay, so an intercepting tramp freighter is destroying an asteroid field. Okay, so what happens is that that there's as we approach the planet, Nash goes, oh look, now as we come closer, there's actually a small ring of meteoroids or asteroid debris around this planet. Yeah, indeed. You think you can go above or below it? And Nash goes, well, it is pretty wide in diameter, but it's not that dense. I think I can just go through it. I mean, the Never Too Late, we got superb handling and we got superb shields. So I'm just going through it. I mean, this is a piece of cake. Well, if you say so. So we make our way through this somewhat debris field as there's a tramp freighter on an intercept course, but heading straight for not an intercept course intercepting us, but on a collision course with one of those rocks, and there's an emergency broadcast, and the tramp freighter goes, mayday, this is the tramp freighter slow Puret. We have an engine malfunction. Our maneuvering thrusters are not responding, and our main thruster can't be shut down. There's something wrong with our control software. Please, we do need assistance. Damn, look, they're heading straight for this rock. We gotta assist them. Okay, Rhya, hold on. I got an idea. Power up the shields. Okay, so Rhya powers up the shields, and Nash responds and goes, "This is the Never Too Late responding to your distress signal. Hold tight, we try something here. If you got shields, now would be the time to turn them on." And do they have shields? 4, 5, 6, they do. Four, 5, 6, they do. No, they don't. And the slow Purit, this is why they're also called slow Purit. So it's basically one of those off the rack standard stock ships. Got to make a slow Purit here and note. The response: "No, we just got this vessel. It's straight off the assembly line. There are no shields installed." And Nash goes, "Don't worry. Hold on. We're right there. Hold on." And Rhya, while Nash is concentrating and flying, Rhya goes, "Please enlighten me. What are you trying to do?" And Nash says, "I will go below at slow speed and give it a little bump so that it alters its trajectory." All right. Sounds like a good plan. For you, at least, she goes. "If it would have been any other pilot, I would have said you're crazy, but you can do it." "Yeah, thanks." All right, so it's difficult. It's DR16 to get there in time, slow down in time, and find just the right angle so that the alteration of the trajectory is enough so that the vessel does not collide with the asteroid. Okay. And it's a piloting thing, so I do get advantage. It's an intellect +4, and I have 3 handling, so it's +7. But what did I say? DR16, right? Yeah, DR16. Let's see. So Nash goes, "I'm trying something here. Hold on." DR16. Come on. Yes, 10 +7 because of the handling. So any other ship except the Never Too Late and any other pilot would have not made it. But Nash is Nash. All right, so with just the right amount of force and at the right angle, from below, we move up shortly, so it's just in time. Bam! And we give this other vessel a bump from below, altering its trajectory, and so that it doesn't immediately collide. But then Nash goes, "All right, you're clear for now, but you're not out of the field yet. Let me try to dock with you to maneuver you out of the field if you can't do it yourself." "No, we can't do anything. Our control software is completely screwed up. I don't know, a bug, a virus, a glitch, I don't know." "Yeah, we'll do our best." All right, so now we have to dock with this fast-moving ship in this asteroid field. This is also DR16. Doing some fancy piloting stuff here. Ooh, and I do have power points. Can't forget the meta currency. I always keep forgetting about meta currency, at least in games where you get a lot of them, because I usually play games where they're not such a factor. I mean, they are in Shadow Dark, but you can only have one. Those are the luck tokens, 1 per character, and you don't have them all the time. In original Mörk Borg, and so also in Space Borg, you roll for power points. They're called omens, I think, in the original Mörk Borg, every day. So I gotta get used to this meta currency stuff, and because I keep forgetting to use them. All right, DR16 to dock with a vessel. Yes, look at this, 18 +7. So it's as if he has never done anything else. He manages to dock with the vessel, matching exactly speed and rotation, and then locking the docking tube. Let's say we dock at the bottom, and we got you. We're getting you out of the field. All right, so I don't need to roll for that. That is easy. And yeah, that was the encounter. And Nash goes, "Well, we're still docked with the ship." And Nash goes, well, Rhya, what do you think? I think we should be entitled to some form of compensation. Yeah, I think it is only fitting. I mean, they would have probably lost their ship that they have just acquired. Yeah. All right, so let's roll if the pilot is male or female. Even is female. No, it is odd, so it's a male pilot. So the voice was also a male voice. And a male human voice. Let me find a fitting miniature here real quick. And just say that the ship is a stock YT 1300, which has like the same stats as the starter ship, right off the assembly line. And yeah, that's a fitting miniature here. Okay, so this is my second favorite scoundrel and smuggler miniature that I'm going to show you right now. So Nash is my favorite miniature, and this is my second favorite miniature. That is the it's a common miniature actually, and it is a human scoundrel, and this is the Corellian pirate miniature. Okay, so a human scoundrel, so a male scoundrel, black haired, brown eyes, basically looks exactly like the miniature. So so we slow down, or no, we let's say now they manage to finally shut off the entire system and the engine. So we slow down, we come to a stop, and Nash uses the communicator to hail the other ship. Whew, he goes, that was a close call. You were lucky we came by. And the guy goes, yeah, indeed. And damn, that was some fancy flying. Haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, it took me a while to get to this point, and also, the Never Too Late is not your standard tramp freighter. He smiles, and he actually feels pretty proud of his ship now. You can hear it in his voice. And he goes, yeah, I bet she isn't. Probably poured a lot of money into her. Oh yeah, you can say that. And as a matter of fact, that is also the reason I wanted to talk to you about. I mean, as you're a spacer yourself, you know running a ship is and he goes, yeah, we can cut the chatter. I know what you want. You want some sort of compensation. And Nash goes, yeah, I don't think that is too much to ask. I mean, if we weren't there and I've risked my ship as well, you would have just ran straight into that asteroid. And he goes, yeah, you're right. But as you can see from my ship, I'm just starting out, just trying to make some money doing some regular drop point deliveries to this forsaken place. I'm sorry, but I can't pay you more than 3,000 right now. That's all I can afford. And Nash goes, well, it is the gesture that counts, and I know it is good to have some financial breathing room. So if 3,000 is what you can spare, we'll settle for 1,500. And he goes, damn, that's a fine thing to do. Yeah, but I prefer cash if you don't mind. Yeah, of course. Open the hatch and I'll give you the money. Okay. So we do this little exchange, 1,500, since Rhya already has 13,000 in her pocket. Nash, he only has 1,000, and now he's got 2,500. He takes the money. But he goes, well, but you said So we do this exchange, and Nash goes, well, before you go, you just said this forsaken place. I mean, why is it a forsaken place? It is listed as a regular mining colony. Yeah, it is a mining colony, all right, but there's all the usual crime and extortion and protection money and drug dealing going on that you can expect from such a rundown, hard-working space. I mean, they're the corporations and they have some authority, but over the time, they're also some criminal gangs that have divided up the turf, doing their illegal business and preying on those poor souls that work for not a lot of money in the mines. And Nash goes, well, seems like we have picked a nice place. You gotta know, we just came here by pure chance, actually. We just picked the system of the star charts. Yeah, well, I wish you luck. See for yourself. You don't happen to know your way around control software? And Nash goes, sorry, I'm more of a flyer than a mechanic or tech. Yeah, figured that. Well, anyhow, thanks again, and I see what I can do. Maybe it's just the usual restart the system, turn it off and on again. Well, we wish you luck. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so he stays there and we and holds his position, and we make our way down to the planet. And he goes, well, Rhya, that was some excitement for just arriving here. Indeed it was, but 1,500 credits is also nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, but what he said about this planet, I don't know. I mean, you know, I would just enjoy a nice little vacation on a tropical entertainment world, tropical island in a nice blue ocean, sipping cocktails, eating good food. Why don't we do that? And Rhya goes, because it makes you lose your edge, you'll get fat and complacent, and it costs a lot of money. Yeah, now we already spent 40,000 on the Never Too Late, but should we ever get a large amount of money again? I mean, you can probably train there. It's my treat. I'll treat you to a nice little vacation. So Rhya goes, well, then let's hope we can make some money here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we land, and the starport for the public, the civilian starport, so not corporate-run starports, it's only a limited service starport, so it's basically just... so it's the settlement is a rundown mining settlement with uninspiring gray architecture, blocked buildings, prefab buildings stretched out. It's a rocky terrain because it's a mining planet and they need rocks for mines and ore. So make a little note here, rocky terrain. I just copy this in my journal later. I'm just using what I have on hand here. Rocky terrain, uninspiring mining town, and a limited service starport. And let's just roll a d3 because there's only one d3 settlements total on this planet at all. Only one. So actually this is the only settlement on the planet. It is pretty, it's like a sprawling complex because it does not go up very high because they're only like single or max 2-story prefabricated buildings, but it stretches out. But they're of course next to the city and different areas on the planet. There are these mining outposts and factories where there are also living quarters, but for the miners. So for the general public, space traffic, whatever. This is, and you know me, this is called Mörk Borg. That's the settlement. Mörk Borg. And let's just say it has times 100,000. Oh, but at least 600,000. So it's, like I said, sprawling. 600,000, but below 1 million people. So visitors, mining workers, corporate types. That's it. And we sat down, and it's only a 50 credits landing fee that Rhya pays this time. So she's at 12,950 credits. 50 credits landing fee. So we sat down. It's a docking bay it doesn't have a roof or anything or a shield. You just dock there, but it does have like an outer wall and outer ring, sort of like the Mos Eisley docking bays. And it has basic refueling facilities. And this is where we dock. Okay. Let's determine time of day. D20 plus D4. Oh, 1400 hours. So early afternoon, 1400 hours. And Nash goes, all right, what do you say? Take a stroll around, get a feel for the place? And Rhya goes, yeah, why not? So we take a stroll. It is 1400 hours. We just want to get a lay of the land, check out the areas, see where's what, maybe some shops, restaurants, casinos, maybe there corporate offices. Just want to get a feel for the place. See if there's, of course, some speeder traffic. But it is a low security planet. So I'm checking for an urban encounter it's a 2 in 6 chance on a low security planet. 2 in 6 chance, 1 or 2 on a D6. No, there's nothing going on here, at least not yet. So we take a stroll, and Rhya goes, medpacks, Nash, medpacks. And Nash says, yeah, damn, I almost forgot about it. Okay, so make it short. This is just a routine purchase. So we head into the next, I don't know, general store, and they would have something like this in case a miner has an accident or something. So non-combat gear. A medikit costs 200 credits. As an action, restores 1d6 hit points. And it's a one-use item, basically like a sci-fi healing potion. And so we each get 3. So 1,200, 600 each. All right, so 600 each. So Nash is at 1,900 credits. And now he finally, in his gear section, he has 3 med packs. And Rhya, 600 credits, is at 12,350. And she also has 3 med packs now. So let's say all this strolling around, buying med packs is 2 hours. So now it's 1,600 hours. And I roll for a random encounter again. By my city gameplay procedure. Once you resolve an action, you check for an encounter. If you want to, it's an offering, not a requirement. But I'm just improvising here. Okay, so no encounter. All right, so Nash says, okay, 1,600 hours. Let's have a late lunch, early dinner, whatever, and let's check out one of those cantinas there. Yeah, okay. So we do that, and we order, and as we sit there and order, suddenly Rhya's comlink beeps. Beep, 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 beep. There's a subspace signal coming in. And Rhya looks at Lash, says, it's the council's frequency. The council's frequency, okay. And Rhya says, let me take this outside. Just wait here and you'll get the info anyways. Yeah, I bet I do. But no matter what it is the council throws at us this time, the never too late will see it through. And Rhya says, she will. We will see it through. But let me get this. The council doesn't like to be kept waiting. Okay, so she moves outside and yeah, I eat and no, I don't eat. I wait for her, of course. So she comes back. But as she comes back, I see the expression on her face has changed. You could say, like, as we were traveling together, that she actually sometimes was actually pretty cheerful. But now her face is back to her calm and emotionless self that I've encountered when I met her for the first time. This almost statue-like face. And she just comes back and sits down. And Nash goes, everything all right, Rhya? What is it? And she swallows hard and in a somewhat, I think Nash thinks he can detect a light or a hint of trembling in her voice. She says, it is not good news, but please, it is nothing we need to talk about right now or tonight. I'll fill you in tomorrow when I tell you where we're headed. Okay, but I don't know. I mean, I'm curious now. I mean, obviously there's something bothering you, and you know you're important to me, right? And I want to help you get through it if there's anything I can do. And she attempts a smile and says, as a matter of fact, there is something you can do. Just please have this dinner with me and spend the night with me, and let's just have a wonderful night together and don't think about tomorrow. I promise, I tell you everything in the morning. That is it. That would really help me right now, and that is what you can do for me. And Nash says, okay. So, yeah, well, it is always a good thing to spend a nice, passionate evening together. So, let's just treat this as a fancy date then, and and have dinner, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yes, that would be great. Okay, so and Rhya, yeah, she tries to be cheerful, and we do have dinner, and we try to make some jokes, recounting one of our past exploits, and then as we're done, she goes, let's go home now. And we go home, which is our ship, and we spend a romantic night together. I leave it to your imagination. And the next morning, I'm preparing breakfast. she says, we have to get to these coordinates. And she hands me a data card with coordinates on them. And Nash says, yeah, okay. They're not that far if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Let me check with the Navi computer. And I put in the coordinates, and Nash goes, indeed, it's only 3 hours. 3 hours away with a slow hyperdrive. Let's see, 3 hours. And so for us, it'll only be 3 times 0.8. So we're there in 2.4 hours. That's nothing. And Rhya says, yeah, actually I have to admit I'm a little bit sad that we got our hyperdrive upgraded. And Nash goes, well, Rhya, now you're really, I don't know, making me uneasy. What is it? And she looks at me, at Nash, and she reaches towards my hand and grabs my hand and holds it and squeezes it and says, with now some more trembling voice, I've been called back. And Nash goes, what do you mean you have been called back? I've been called back to Eldrid. But Eldrid? Why Eldrid? I mean, you are a Shadowhuntress. Aren't you supposed to do missions for the council? He goes. And she says, yes, but it is also the duty of Shadowhuntresses to train new Shadowhuntresses. And on a regular basis, field operatives that have been out in the field and that have gathered and gained some experience and completed a few missions are called back to Eldrid to pass on that knowledge to new generations of Shadowhuntresses and train them and prepare them for whatever it is they might be facing. Okay, he goes, so then we go to Eldrid. And Rhya just looks at him and slowly shakes his hand, shakes her head and squeezes his hand. We can't go to Eldrid, Nash. Remember what I told you. And Nash goes, damn, yeah, you're right. No humans allowed on Eldrid, or no non-Eldridians allowed on Eldrid. So you are saying that they've called you back and I can go with you? And she says, yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. At those coordinates, an Eldridian vessel will pick me up, take me on board, and transport me back to Eldrid. Yeah, okay, but I mean, how long do you have to do this? I mean, how long are these training exercises and training intervals? And she says, hard to say, but minimum 1 year. Can be up to 5, 6, 10 years. 10 years? Well, in the worst case scenario. If I'm lucky, and she pauses, if we are lucky, it'll only be a year. And Nash goes, well, a year? I mean, seriously, I mean, I know you grow old and can, I don't know, get 600 years old, but I can't. I mean, if a year would be the best scenario, let's say it's, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That means I can't see you, I can't get in contact with you for 5 years? If and she just says, Nash, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. What do you mean you can't do anything about it? Don't you have any say in the matter? I mean, can't they just order you around? And she tilts her head slightly and says, yes, she can. They can. It is what I am. It is what I was trained to do from my very early years. Remember when we had the first talk and I told you I will be whatever the council needs me to be. My entire life I was prepared and trained for this duty. I don't know, didn't think that this day would come so soon. Or, I don't know, maybe that we were on some faraway mission and they couldn't reach me or whatever, but they did reach me, and I am bound by my oath to the council. I am what I am. I'm an Eldridian Shadowhuntress of the Council of Elders. I'm Rhya Cloudshadow of Eldrid, and I'm true to my word and oath. And Nash says, I can't, I don't know what to say, Rhya. I mean, I get it. I mean, this is what defines you, and this is what makes you, and this is what has me or had me drawn to you in the first place. But this, I mean, if I'm honest, when you told me that you, I don't know, can get 600 years old or whatever, I knew that probably our relationship couldn't have a long-term future. Well, it could, but I don't know, if I'm like 60, 70 years old, I'm an old guy and you're still probably in your prime. But I mean, in my line of work, you usually don't get that old if you're unlucky, and sometime even my luck will run out. But this, like this. And she says, you're not losing me, Nash. I don't give away my heart, if you want to call it that, lightly. Like I said, I've never had a connection or a relationship with a person, a being, before like I had with you. Like I have with you. But it is the council's will, and I have to obey. So please, I ask of you, transport me to those coordinates. Let's spend the last hours together that we have, and hope for the best. I promise I will contact you. I try to find you, to reach you as soon as my assignment on Eldrid is over. If you stay within 100 light years of those coordinates I provided you, I will be able to reach you by subspace transceiver. I will take a vessel to within 100 light years of those coordinates, and I'll try to reach you when I'm ready. So please stay in the area or stop by every once in a while. But I do tell you, or I can tell you, that it will be at least a year. That is like the minimum amount to get into this training routine and to really make an impact with the new recruits or adepts, trainees. Damn, Rhya, I don't know what to say. I mean, just when okay, so I think there's no need arguing about it, I guess. I mean, like you said, it is what you do, it is who you are. And I wouldn't want you any other way. And she says, let's just spend these last 2 hours together. And I'm sure the Force will lead us back to each other when it is time. Yeah. Okay, so let's launch and get these coordinates locked in. Okay, so we launch, we get the coordinates locked in. I'm not going to roll for random encounter now. And 2.4 hours later, we arrive at this destination. And sure enough, on the scopes, there's a strange vessel with aesthetic lines, looks almost organic. Don't have a fitting picture ready now, I fear. Had them on my other tablet. It's like an Eldridian vessel. And Rhya is contacted, and she talks in Eldridian in their melodic voice, and she says they want us to dock with them. Okay, so we dock with them, and the hatch opens, and out comes this other Eldridian woman that Nash has seen once before. She also still looks young, because Eldridians tend to get very old, but she has maybe 1 or 2 gray strands already in her hair, and her hooded cloak is very dusty, worn, and has seen a lot of use, it seems. And she's also not wearing this Eldridian leafskin armor, but, and I've said this before, this organic wood, made out of wood or armor, and that is the Koinite battle armor, made of the plants of the Waldsor, or the seeds, or whatever from the Waldsor plants on the planet Koin. Very light, very good protection, very good mobility, and that is the woman that Nash has seen before when Rhya paid him the very first time and gave him this Shadowhuntress blaster. And this woman talks in a melodic Eldridian voice very calmly to Rhya, and Rhya talks to the woman, and then she turns and comes back to me and stands very close to me and looks me in the eye and says, "This is it, Nash. This is the great goodbye. I gotta go now." And Nash says, "You don't get rid of me that easy. I'll be waiting." And then he grabs her and pulls her towards him and gives her one last, final, passionate kiss, which she completely gives into. So they kiss passionately, and this other woman, she just stands there, looks at us, doesn't say anything. I don't really notice it. It's just background dressing. But patiently waits, and then we separate, and Rhya, she almost has to push me back so that we separate, and she just looks at me and says, "I will be back." And Nash says, "I know." And she turns around and leaves. Doesn't look back anymore, leaves. And the other woman, she just walks up to me, looks at me, and says, "The Eldridian people thank you for your service. From what I have seen, you have been a great asset to my sister." And she means sister in a, not in a biological, but in a literal, like a order sister. And Nash says, "Well, glad I could be of service." And the woman says, when I was still very active in the field, I was working with a human scoundrel, smuggler, flyer, just like you as well. It was a different relationship than yours, but I've also come to respect him, and I have relied on his ship many times. There are good people among you. So she bows slightly. Again, the Council of Elders thanks you for your service to the Eldridian people. Glad to be of service, and just out of curiosity, you are? And she already turned to leave, just looks back through, and she's got the cloak pulled deep into her face, just looks back and just says, Iron. My name is Iron. And then she leaves. The Eldridian vessel detaches and exits into hyperspace. And Nash, he is alone on the Never Too Late in deep space at these coordinates. All right, folks, this is it. That's it. That is the end of this season, but not only the end of this season, this is also the end of this campaign. This sad, great goodbye concludes my campaign series, Adventures in the Keldor Sector. So there will be, at least for now and for an indefinite amount of time, no more Nash and Rhya. So I will make a note of Nash and Rhya, of course, and maybe Nash will return in solo adventures without Rhya. But this concludes this campaign. I had this end in mind as I started this series and as I started this season even. And yeah, I think it is a fitting end. So I thank you all for following me through those 4 seasons of Adventures in the Keldor Sector and experiencing this character development with me, showcasing different rule systems and telling hopefully some exciting Star Wars stories. So yeah, I really like these characters, but all good things have to come to an end. So this is it. The end of Nash Duncan and Rhya Cloudshadow of Eldred season and campaign finale. All right, folks. So thank you for watching. As always, stay safe and stay healthy, and don't forget, of course, to like, subscribe, comment, and do all this YouTube stuff. Tell people about my channel because I need or want 2,000 subscribers by the end of October. But actually, I don't know if I can get there, but you know, you can hope. So yeah, thank you. Have a wonderful remaining week. I'll take a couple of days off from uploading videos now because I had a pretty high upload rate. So I'll give you time to digest all this content. Maybe you haven't caught up with all the episodes yet. And I don't know, I'll see you in a week or so. So till then, again, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye.